So, Bill, we had a molasses spill in the harbor, and it made the global press, I might add. Didn't make Hawaii look very good. And then immediately, everybody wonders why there wasn't a procedure to avoid this. But what can we learn from the molasses spill and the aftermath?
Well, first of all, I think it's interesting that something as benign sounding as molasses could cause so much harm compared to oil or some other substance that we bend over backwards to prevent. Our policymakers rely on what's called the precautionary principle to, address and define policies about things that the consequences either can't be known or there's no scientific consensus as to, what could happen. And so if there is a potential for harm to people or the environment, the policymakers and regulators tend to err on the side of precaution. And consequently, a lot of activities get prevented from moving forward. In this case, you have a situation where here's a legacy process that's been going on for so long that the people responsible had virtually forgotten about it, forgot to take care of it, forgot to, observe and monitor the pipeline. Many didn't even know it existed. The Department of Transportation, which never inspected it. And so where was the precautionary principle at work in this case? I think it failed us. And this is primarily because it was a legacy procedure.
If you want to check on things like the molasses pipeline, you have to actually go out there and examine the procedures, examine the process. It's much more work. We have got to get our government officials to actually proactively look for trouble. Not just wait till it crosses their desk and, apply some sort of precautionary principle to it.
It's not even-handed. I mean, the fact of the matter is that, new things, innovative things that people are attempting, there are all sorts of impositions like environmental impact statements being imposed and things like that. I dare say there was never an environmental impact statement done over a pipeline that could possibly deteriorate and spill 230,000 gallons of molasses into the harbor.
Chapter 343, the Environmental Protection Act for the state, has not been changed in some time. There have been efforts, unsuccessful efforts for a few years to make it better. Everyone agrees it needs work, but we can't seem to get together and fix it. In either direction, either more environmental controls or less. It just sits the way it is.
As it stands, the regulating authorities barely have the staff to process new applications in a timely manner. They don't have the staff to do the observation. They don't have the staff to even consider what's been neglected. So I think that's the biggest problem is our regulators and our regulation authorities don't have the budgets to do their job in the first place, much less take on new responsibilities. That's the real problem with regulation. People can write laws and prescribe, regulatory policies, but they generally don't fund the process. I mean, one of the big issues is there should be self-reporting on the part of the entities that are taking on processes that could do harm. Because the regulators can't monitor, but the fact is, who's going to do it if not the people who are performing these procedures themselves? They have to be on top of it. They have to be paying attention.
Yeah, well, we appreciate their early apology and all that. The reality is there's a problem in the process here, and it seems to me it'd be a good time to look at the process, to look at a renewed effort to amend Chapter 343 and make it comport with the reality of our times here in the 21st century, so that we can have the government knowledgeable and appropriately staffed and motivated to actually fix these things before they come and bite us.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Bill.
You're welcome.